So, Councillor Roger Harmer, leader of Birmingham City Council.
How does it feel to say that?
It feels a bit unreal, actually, because we spent, I'm sure people are aware, a little while between the election result and Friday getting to this point, but it's great to be here now.
Why did it take so long to get to this point, do you think?
It was a complicated situation. I mean, I think it was actually commented on Newsnight the day after the election, and someone put up a map of Birmingham and said, wow, pick the bones out of that. And so, you've got lots of different parties with lots of different perspective on things, and we had to work through all those issues to get to the point where we have got an agreement.
Some people looking from the outside might wonder why the smallest party at the elections has ended up with the leader.
Well, there are, I think you have to look at it, this is a coalition. This is not the Liberal Democrats leading. I am the leader.
You are the leader.
No, I am the leader.
And you only have 12 councillors.
And we only have 12 councillors, but equally, this is a 4-year agreement that for 2 of the years the Greens will have the leadership, for 2 of the years the Lib Dems, and we're the 2 biggest parties in this agreement.
Do you see why some might think you don't have a mandate, though, this administration?
I think I can understand why people initially might think that, but we live in a representative democracy, and we were effectively the largest group of councillors that came together to try and run this city. And in a representative democracy, that's how it works. You can look at the Labour Party. I mean, if you want to get into that, we have 40% of the councillors on the city. The Labour Party won a general election in 2024 with, I think, about 33% of the vote nationally. Same question applies to them.
So why are you the first named leader and not Julian Pritchard, who has many more councillors than you do?
When we were deciding who would go first, I think that just sort of emerged organically and logically in that, I've been on the council longer, got more experience, and over the last 3 years, because I was a larger group leader, I was very much involved in the weeds of all the issues around the intervention and so on, and in meetings that Julian, as the leader of a small group
of two,
wasn't involved in. So it's just a little bit easier for me straight ahead to get.
Was there anything to do with the fact that his group is by far made up of people who've never been councillors before?
Well, let's not shy away from it. That is something that the administration has to pay a lot of mind to, and that's an issue for the council as a whole. 64 of the councillors elected in May are new councillors, and that's something that not just the administration but the opposition as well. We've all got to manage that.
Your coalition will have to work with some of the opposition parties. Did you see it that you were a more palatable leader for them as opposed to the Greens?
No, that's not the issue, and we are co-leaders of a coalition. One of us has to be officially the leader in the way local government works, but we are joint leaders of this coalition.
Reform UK say the city deserves better than a game of musical chairs. What do you make of that?
Reform can say what they like. They couldn't even get all their own councillors to vote for their leader as leader on Friday, so I think they've got their own issues to deal with.
They've obviously criticised other parties, including yourself, for ruling out working with them as the largest group. Just explain why you did that for people.
Because we said to the electorate that's what we would do during the election, and I think it's important that parties stick with what they say they're going to do during election time.
What happens when there's disagreement between you and Julian?
We will work it out as grown adults. There will be disagreement. That is the nature of politics. We come from different parties with different perspective on things, but we also have to recognise what the electorate did and gave us that split electorate, and we have to make compromises, and we have to work it out between us.
Why are there no Reform UK or Labour chairs of scrutiny committees?
Because that's what full council decided on Friday.
They say that they had an agreement with you to ensure those positions were shared proportionally, and that you went back on that agreement.
They went back on it, is my understanding.
So do you think it's right that the Conservatives, who don't have as many seats as Reform and don't have didn't have as many seats as Labour, have all of the chairs of those committees. Do you think that's really right?
In
this multi-party world where we're talking about reaching out and bringing other parties with us, is it right to have the Conservatives chair every single one of those?
It is how things worked out on Friday, and there's a whole stack of politics behind all that, and it's where we are, so we will live with it.
Bin strike.
Yeah.
Have you had any conversations with Unite the Union since becoming leader?
No.
When will you have those conversations?
We will have them. Well, basically, where we are is we started this morning. There is clearly a lot of work to do to get ourselves up to speed quickly, and it is a top priority of the administration. But we've got a lot. It is a very complicated situation. Labour were unable to resolve it over 18 months. We need to get our first priority is get ourselves up to speed, with all the briefings and documents, and do all those meetings, meet with all the various people and so on. Get ourselves up to speed, and we will be doing that as quickly as we can.
You know that before the election, John Cotton announced a deal was in reaching distance. Have you seen the outlines of that deal, and do you think there's something there that can be taken forward?
Look, I don't think it's helpful for us in getting a resolution of the strike as quickly as possible to spend too much time agonising about what happened before the election. I think what we need to do is, see where we are now.
But Labour argue there is a deal there that could be taken forward. Is the onus now not on you to take that forward?
No, the onus on us is there isn't a deal. There was a proposal by the Labour Party, and that's fine. They can make their proposal, and we welcome anybody's constructive thoughts about how we get a resolution to the strike. But there wasn't a deal, because a deal has to be done between the head of the paid service and Unite the Union, and the head of the paid service was not involved in those discussions at all. So
Labour says they were kept informed and
knew about
so
I think this is where we get to the point where we're arguing about what happened before the election, before we were in administration, and I don't think that is helpful in resolving the strike.
Your predecessor, John Cotton, says council officers pushed him to dismiss the workers. Now you're in charge. Will you rule that out?
I'm not interested in what Councillor John Cotton says.
No, but I'm asking your policy. Will you rule out dismissing the workers?
That is absolutely not what we're aiming to do. We're aiming to get
not what you're aiming to do? Does that mean you can
firmly
and formally rule it out?
That would be a sign of failure if we got to that point. Let's put it like that.
John Cotton and the Westminster Mayor both say officers and commissioners have tried to block and frustrate the efforts to get a deal done. Are you prepared to stand up to unelected officials if you come across such frustration?
We will work constructively with everybody involved. I think that phrasing it in that term is not helpful to actually resolving the strike, and my number one interest is resolving the strike, not saying, this person or that person said this or that or frustrated this or that. I don't think that's constructive and helpful to resolving the strike.
They have said directly that this has frustrated, that their efforts were frustrated, and they felt deeply held back by some of that. Are you prepared to deal with that and stand up to those unelected officers if that's what you find?
I think everybody involved in this has to work together. We're starting from a clean slate today, and that's what we're going to do.